Good evening. It's the Ask Dr. Renee show. I am your host, Dr. Renee. If you've not tuned in before, our show is here to motivate and inspire you to live the life that you deserve. Because let's face it, we are not promised tomorrow, and this is not a dress rehearsal. This is the only life we have to live. So we might as well live out loud and live it now. So I've had a whole bunch of hosts of guests. This is our 63rd show, I believe. And I've had a whole bunch of guests, and they have all told their stories of how they're living the life they deserve. And I believe that they motivate and inspire me. So I'm hoping that they would in turn motivate and inspire you to make sure you figure out whatever it is you have to change or do to make certain that you are living the life that you deserve. Tonight's guest is Pamela Booker of Koils by Nature, and we'll learn more about that later. But welcome to the show, Pam.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for taking some time out because I know you are extremely busy as a fellow entrepreneur, so I appreciate it.
Thank you.
So, first of all, what did you want to be when you were growing up?
First, I wanted to be a doctor.
Oh.
First, I wanted to be a doctor because I thought my grandmother was a doctor. And then when I found out she was a nurse, I wanted to be a nurse. And then I wanted to be a nurse anesthetist. I think that's what it's called. The anesthesia. Yeah, I wanted to do that. And then I wanted to be a cook. So a nurse and a cook.
Okay. So tell me about your growing up. You, I know you went to, you're from the Maryland, Virginia, D.C. area, right?
I'm from South Carolina.
South Carolina. Okay.
Yeah, I lived in the D.C. area for a long time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So when you went to high school, was that in South Carolina or was that in the DMV?
That was South Carolina.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So from birth to the age of 19, I grew up in Beaufort, South Carolina, and it's a small town because we didn't have a lot of stoplights back then, but it's very small, and we have like this. They call us Geechee Gullah people. That's what we're called. And I did not know what that meant until I left. So because of how I grew up, it was very village-like. Like our grandmother lived here, our aunties lived here, uncles, everybody lived very close-knit. So it was a very, I grew up very country, I could say that. Like dirt roads, bare feet, stuff like that.
Now, but you weren't on the Gullah Gullah Islands, though, right?
It's the same place.
Oh, okay.
It's the same place. They filmed that in Beaufort, but the people were from St. Helena Island, which is Beaufort County. So, yeah.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. See, I knew a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, Walmart did a huge campaign with that, and I had two friends that worked on it.
Mm-hmm.
This was probably 6-7 years ago.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
And so they did I think they did a documentary about the Gullah Gullah people and all this stuff. So it was pretty big. And my friends were publicists on that campaign. And so I learned more then. But yeah, and actually a girl that I knew, her aunt played in that TV show.
Oh, awesome.
Show. Yeah, she was the black lady in it. Yeah.
The black lady in there. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So that is very interesting. So I know in high school you had something that probably changed your life quite a bit that happened. So please, yes.
So at the age of 15, I became pregnant with my son. He will be 21 in next month. He will be 21 years old. So I became pregnant at 15, and I gave birth at 16. So the first 5 months of my pregnancy, I guess because I was so young, I was not showing. So I was still playing basketball. I was on the varsity basketball team. I was still playing basketball. I was still doing everything a normal child would do. And back then in the 90s, I dressed baggy anyway. So I had the baggy clothes and everything. And so nobody knew. Nobody knew that I was pregnant. And like they said, if you want it to be a secret, don't tell anybody. So when I told one person, then everybody found out. So I had to actually have a sit down with my parents, and they had to ask me, because I was so afraid to tell them that I was pregnant. Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
So you went and you still graduated high school though.
I did. I did. I graduated on time. I was in the top 10% of my class. I was homecoming queen. I still played volleyball, played basketball, but it was very tough. I have great parents, and I had a great village of people that helped me, and when I speak to girls, I try to speak to the ones and tell certain age groups how old I was when I had my son, because I don't want anybody getting out. You can do it, but I had a great village, and that's why I was successful. I had a great village of people. And I raised my son, but I had people to help me. So yeah, it was very difficult. It was very difficult to be in high school and to be a mom and trying to still be a teenager, because I didn't. That's all I knew was being a kid, and to
Right.
have your own, it was like wow, wow.
So you graduated high school. So what did you decide to pursue?
So the funny thing is, when I was in high school, I don't even know when I changed my mind, but I was always college bound. I wanted to go to Clark, Atlanta. I think it was just Clark at the time when I applied in 1996, 97. So I wanted to go to Atlanta. I wanted to go to school, and I still wanted to get my undergrad in biology, and then I wanted to go to like school. I changed my major. I wanted to be a physical therapist, right? So up until my senior year of high school, like I already did my college applications. I got scholarships and everything. And when I got to my senior year of high school, to get out of English class, I took the ASVAB. And I scored so high on the ASVAB, and that's to get into the military, the armed forces, that all the armed forces came to talk to me. Navy, Marine Corps, Air Force, everybody wanted to recruit me. And I was really thinking that going in the military was for quote unquote people who couldn't make it into college or who wasn't smart enough or whatever. That was my thinking at the time. I was so arrogant. And I was like, how am I going to be able to do 4 years of college and still support my son? Like, how am I going to do that? How is that going to work? And the Army had like all of these dreams. They sold me like, oh, we will help you. You can go to school after, you can, you take care of your family, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, well, let me give this thing a try. So I was 17 and I went to MEPS. My parents didn't even know that I joined the military. They didn't even know. I told them I was spending the night out to my girlfriend's house, and my best friend, and we actually both went and joined the military. And then when I came back, I told them after graduation, they were like, so you're going to school and blah, blah. I was like, no, I'm going to the Army, and I leave in January. And they were like, they couldn't believe it. They could not believe it. They were like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? So I felt like it was the only way for me to get an education and take care of my son at the same time, because I just couldn't fathom doing what I did from 10th grade to 12th grade to doing it all over again in college with a more demanding schedule and not being around my family. So I joined the United States Army.
So was that the right decision for you?
It was the right decision for me. Joining the military, it changed my life and my view on the world. It put me in Europe at the age of 19, and I spent 2 years in Germany, and I traveled all over Europe. It exposed me to different cultures, being a country girl who never seen an African before in real life, and then going to Germany, where there's a plethora of people from Ethiopia and Sierra Leone and Senegal, and and I was like, wow. And it just exposed me to how people view Americans and how people view Black Americans. So it was very eye-opening, and I wouldn't change that experience for the world.
So there was something else that happened though in the military that kind of set your course a little differently too, though, right?
Yes, yes. So while I was in Germany, I was sexually assaulted by a higher ranking sergeant, and um, that for like, it was like a total out of body experience for me, and I blame myself for a long time because I got so drunk. Like when you're in Germany, that's what you do. You drink. I went to a club. And the club was right next to the barracks. I got drunk. I knew it was time for me to go. I went back to my friend's room and laid across her bed, and he followed me. I didn't even know he followed me. He grabbed me and he took me up to his room, and he raped me for like, I think it felt like days, but it was probably like an hour or two. I'm not sure. But he finished in time to put me back into my friend's room. And I thought it was a bad dream until, I was like sober, and I was like, no, something is not right here. And that, that was the first time I cried so much that my eyeballs swole. It's like my whole face was swole, and I was kind of reluctant to report it because I was so drunk. And I was like, who would believe me because I was drunk? I had on a shirt that one of the buttons popped. So like my boobs were like, I had all this cleavage showing. I was like, what would people think? And I was so worried about what would people think. And I didn't even start calling it rape until I started talking to my therapist, because I always said I was taken advantage of. And she said, no, you were raped. Like, you were raped. You said no. And I felt so bad about what had happened to me, that nothing happened to him until he raped 2 other soldiers. And then, because this is what he did,
Clearly.
and then he got locked up and everything, and they took a statement from me or whatever. But it took me a long time to get over that. And I being so far away from my family, I started to depend on more alcohol and more like pain pills to like numb the fact that, why did he do that to me? What signal did I give off? Like, I kept trying to see, what did I do wrong? Like, what did I do wrong? And did I drink too much? Maybe I shouldn't have wore the shirt. I shouldn't have had, let me tell you, this was the first time that I ever had a matching bra and panty set on. The first time ever. And I remember him gawking over it. And that was the last time I ever wore matching bra and panty set. Because I was just so, I'm over it now, but I was so traumatized by that, and that really altered the way I view men. And I didn't even tell my boyfriend at the time, it was my son's father, I didn't even tell him that I was raped. I just came back from Germany a totally different person.
I can only imagine. What part of Germany were you in?
Heidelberg, Germany. It's a college town.
That's where Sound of Music.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So beautiful. It is so beautiful there.
I've been to Germany too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
So while you're in, so I never quite understand the military thing. So I know they always promise this thing about education. So does it happen while you're in the service, or it's after the fact?
You can take classes during. Okay. And I took classes during. I actually went to the University of Maryland while I was in Germany, and I took classes there. And that's what I did to get my mind off of what was going on. Like me and my friend, we registered for classes and we started going to school. And I just wanted to always keep busy. my view on men, of course, changed a little bit, especially men that outranked me, because he outranked me, and he, that's what he did to me. And then once I told my stories to a few ladies in the military, it was like, oh, that happened to me too. Or, I know a homegirl that happened to her. And I'm like, wow. And I'm glad the military is finally doing something about it now, because they've changed a lot of things, but it's still not a place that I feel that's safe for women. I don't. Yeah, it's not. Absolutely not. Mm-mm.
So what were you studying when you were taking these classes?
Computers. That was my job in the military. Computers. So I was taking computer classes, and then I took some theology classes, English, stuff like that.
Okay. So when did you end up getting your degree, or did you get it from when you were in there, or did you get it afterwards? Or
I got it afterwards. I got it after I got out of the military. I continued at Strayer University in the DC area, and that's where I went to school, and I completed my bachelor's degree in computer engineering there.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So have you ever worked in computer engineering?
Yeah.
Besides the, okay.
Yeah, I did for the federal government for 10 years.
Okay.
10 years. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, 13 while I was in DC. Yeah, 13 years.
And I knew what I meant to ask. So your son was in Germany with you?
No, he actually stayed in South Carolina with his dad and my parents and his grandparents. Because if I would have took him to Germany with me, I would have to stay 3 years. So without him, I only had to stay 2 years. So I didn't want to be in Europe that long.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So what made you quit your job and get out of computer engineering?
I always knew that I would not be working for somebody. The Army made that as like a stamp on that. Like, you know what, Pam, you have to make a plan in order to do whatever it is that you love. So the thing is, I had to find what that was. I didn't know what it was. I was good at computers. I was good at that job. I love learning and learning new things. So I picked up on stuff really easy, and I was very good at what I did. I was a manager at like 25, network manager at 25. But I just knew that wasn't it for me. And when I went natural in 2007, I cut all my hair off because I was pregnant with my son, my 8-year-old. I was pregnant with him. And I was like, it's time for me to cut all this hair off. I want to go natural. I was already like eating natural foods and taking care of myself on the inside, but I still had a relaxer and dyed red hair. So I was like, I'm going to go natural. And then when I went natural, the ingredients didn't match because it wasn't a plethora of products that are out now. In 2007, it was only a few products that were out, and they were expensive. They were kind of expensive for my taste because, buying a thing of gel for 99 cents and then now you're buying this butter for $25. It was totally different. So I was using products and they weren't really working like for my hair. They weren't doing the job. So I said, well, let me look at the ingredients in these products. And I started looking at the ingredients and I started reading books on natural products and how to make natural products. And I was like, okay, let me get some formulas down and let me try some things out. And I actually started the company with my best friend and another girl who I work with at the International Trade Commission. And once we got that started, I said, okay, going to get the name. We're going to do this. And then this was like my exit strategy. It started in March of 2009. The job that I worked, I loved the people, but I did not like my management. They absolutely sucked. So I was like, either I'm quitting this job to find another job, or I'm just quitting just to quit because I just cannot be in this space where I don't like it. Like I really did not like my job. I really did not like the people that I work for. And I would pray like every day in the garage, like, please, Lord, just don't let me cuss anybody out. Please, Lord, I don't want to cuss anybody out today. It was just that bad. It was just that bad. It was so stressful. And I wouldn't take it out on people at work, and I would come home and take it out on my family. And I had a bad attitude when I would come home. And I was like, they didn't do anything to me. So, Curly Nikki's blog was so popping back then in 2009. And I made some friends on Curly Nikki's blog, and I offered to send them some stuff to try. I think it was like 15 ladies, and I sent them some stuff to try. They love my products. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to make November. That's going to be the last day. Like, I'm not going into the new year with this job. That was my thing. I was not going into the new year with this job. So I had some leave time left. November 13th was my last day of work. And I told the ladies that my managers, they were Black females. I told them, I was like, you all will see me on Oprah's couch because I'm not going to be here anymore.
Amen.
I didn't make it to Oprah's couch yet, but I'm still on my way.
Right. That sounds like a plan. Have you always been, so it sounds like you've always been a leader then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I have been. Yep. I've always been put in leadership roles. I've always been the head of something, the manager of something, always.
So
yes.
I know that I watched recently on social media, and you were with your best friend, and she's not with the company anymore, and it's just you, right?
Right. It's just me and my husband.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So can you speak a little, because there's a lot of people who want to do partnerships, and if you listen to Dave Ramsey, he says that that's the ship that never sails. So can you speak a little to partnerships and entrepreneurship?
Yes. So you have to be very careful who you get in a partnership with when you're starting a business, because the reason why me and my best friend didn't work out in business is because she wasn't ready. She wasn't ready. You have to have somebody just as enthusiastic or more. They have to be able to drive you, and you will have to be able to drive them. And they have to be a true entrepreneur, which is a risk taker. They have to, and it's good that she knew she wasn't ready for it. She was just excited for me and wanted to support me, and that was cool. But I don't advise people to get into business with somebody else. I don't advise that unless it's like me. We're married, so it's our business together, and he's been supporting me since before we got married, so I just don't advise that at all. I don't advise that. I think if it's your vision, you find a way to make that thing happen. Sometimes people get into partnerships because they believe that they can't do it on their own. But you can absolutely do it on your own because God gave you that vision. That vision was for you and you only. Now, you can have people support you and help you, but they don't have to be like in a partnership. Because I believe what Dave Ramsey said, that's that ship that will never sail. Because if I still depended on my best friend and this other lady that we were in business with, we would still not have sailed. Koils by Nature would still be just in the process phase and the, hey, let's do this, let's formulate that. We would still be in that phase. So that's why I had to let them go, because I had to move.
So
I had to move.
Okay, so we've in case you didn't know, we've had Jasmine on, we've had Gwen from Naturalicious, we've had Christia from TGIN.
Yes.
We covered the hair, okay?
Yes.
And I just find it hilarious because Christia, we met in high school.
Really?
She's from Detroit. Mm-hmm. She's from Detroit. And Gwen was on my show after I met her through Traffic Sales and Profits, the group that we're in with Lamar.
Right.
That's how I met her, through the group. And then we met in person when I went home one weekend. And that's how I got her on the show. And then Jasmine, I'm a brand ambassador because I started using those products years ago. And,
right.
it just started. So it's so funny that I'm connected with all these people with hair products. It's so
I
funny.
know.
So I must tell everyone the story of how we met. So Pam sat next to us at the table at the first day of the Dream Project in Atlanta. Tanisha's been on the show twice.
I love her.
Yes, me too. And it was so funny because she sat there, she gave us her card, she told us, okay, da, da, da. So then literally that weekend is when I signed on to Periscope. I just was, trying to figure things out. I hadn't went live yet. So then I went live. So then I start seeing her on Periscope, and I slowly put together, I said to my sister, isn't that the lady that was sitting next to us? My sister goes, Renee, it is her. And I said, well, did you know that this is us? It was so funny. So that was hilarious. I was like, I didn't know she was who she is. I was just like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I said, good Lord.
Yeah,
it was
so
so funny. But so how did you, because I know that you don't just have hair care. So please tell everybody all that you have, because I was telling people as I was advertising, I was telling them that you're having a Father's Day special on male grooming products. So it's not just all about the ladies.
It's not. And the funny thing is, when I first started my line, I had stuff for men, pomade, aftershave, shaving foam, all of this other stuff. But I didn't market it right, I guess, and it wasn't time. So I pulled that back, and I was like, okay, let me just focus on the ladies. But now this beard stuff came.
Girl.
The beard gang, right? The beard cult, the beard following.
Right.
And it's my very best guy friend. We've been kicking it since we was in middle school together. He hit me up when I was home, and he was like, Pam, I need something for my face. My beard is dry. I don't know what's going on with it. Like, I need your help. And I was like, well, I said, here, try my leave-in conditioner. Just put that on it, and then put the butter on it. So he was like, okay, all right, I'll do that. So he did that for about 2 weeks, and he called me, and he was like, okay, Pam, this looks good. Like, look at my beard. Like, he would show me pictures of his beard. And I was like, okay, that looks good. And he was like, I need some more of this stuff. I was like, all right, here's some more of the conditioner. Let's get it going. And he was like, I love it. So then I said, well, let me do this. Because this is formulated for the hair. I said, let me put some stuff in here that is especially for your skin, because you're putting it on your face. So I put rose water, rose hips, calendula, all that other stuff in there. And I said, here, try this. And he absolutely loved it. He was like, Pam, it cleared up the scars on my face, the what is it called? The razor bumps were cleared up. His skin was smooth. His beard was full. And I was like, I said, okay. All right. So I gave it to a couple more people to have them try it. Right. I was like, here, try this. Let's see how this works. And they love it. And this is the best product launch that I've ever had. And it's so funny because I thought women would be buying the majority of it, but I have more male customers than anything. And that's all thanks to Instagram. That's all Instagram right there. Instagram has given me my male customers. Like, I have men tagging Koils by Nature in their beard photos so I can repost it. It is crazy. And DMing me pictures of their beards. It's just so crazy that men are just as pressed as women to be seen. That's what it shows me. Like, I want you to show everybody my beard. I want everybody to see my beard. I want everybody to see. So it has been phenomenal. And with that, I was like, it's time for us to, because I do all these boxes. I do a holiday box, a Mother's Day box. I was like, let's do a Father's Day box, because I'm a daddy's girl. My daddy has been very instrumental in my life. He's been there my whole entire life, and I love him. Every time I go home, that's why I stay with my daddy. And I said, let's do something special for the fathers. And the response has been very great. The boxes shipped, some of them shipped out today, and the rest of them are going to ship out tomorrow. And they're going to have this amazing box with a tie, a lapel pin, cufflinks, tie bar. They get a candle, the complete men's beard kit set with a pomade and a soap. And it's so awesome. All Black-owned companies. I supported all Black-owned companies for this box. And a few of the boxes have a Benson watch in the box. And that's a Black-owned watchmaker. So we collaborated with him, and it's just absolutely amazing. I love the love that is being shown to our Black men. I think they need that. We all need that at this time, but I think especially they need it.
That was the trailer for this episode, was the promo you had for that.
Oh, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. That is awesome.
So what was your first entrepreneurial risk that you took?
My first... So, oh my gosh, everybody in the DC area has an IT consulting company. So that was my first entrepreneurial risk that I ever took. Me and my best friend, her again, I love her. We had a company called K-Dash Technical Solutions. And we would provide all your IT needs. And it was so funny because we put in all this money, got on the GSA schedule, did everything we were supposed to do. And then we just said, you know what? I don't think I want to do this. So that was the first one. If your heart is not in it, it is very important because we knew how much money we could make, right? And I remember Damon John saying, I think that was the same when were you there when Damon John was at that Dream Project?
No.
With Damon John?
No.
Okay, it was Damon John and Lisa Price. And Damon John said, if money is your motivator, then it's not going to work. But see, I didn't see him until years later, you know. But it resonated with me because that was our motivator. Like we could get these contracts. We get a $2 million contract, $3 million contract, you know, hire some people to work it. And we just chilling. But we didn't have anything else behind it. We didn't have a passion. We didn't have a story. We didn't have a why. We didn't have any of that stuff. So that was the first entrepreneurial risk.
You know, Paul Carrick Brunson was on the show and he said something very similar to that. Because he had some strange entrepreneurial ventures that totally didn't line up with, if you know him, they didn't line up with him.
Right.
He did something with animals. And I'm like, y'all don't even own a dog, do you? I mean, like, really? So,
right.
But he was like, you know, he saw the money too, but he was like, I realized that if I don't really have an interest in it, it's just not going to work.
It's not going to work. No, it really, and that proved to me that I have to be doing something that I really love and that I have this why behind it. So in Koils by nature is it. Like it fuels me, it fills me up.
What are your thoughts on these different courses, and did you take one that you thought was so amazing?
What kind of courses? Like
you know, all the different self-help courses, like you know, learn to market, or you know, all the different courses that people are doing, the webinars, or maybe it was a conference that was really great that you thought that helped you.
Yes, there are. It's really important for people to not be afraid to ask questions and to ask other people, because I spent a lot of money on conferences and I'm walking around like, no, what did I come here for? What? You know, and it was, you know, travel, hotel, you know how it is. So it's very important to ask people, or, you know, if you see certain people promoting a conference, you know, see if you can send them an email message. Hey, you know, how was this for you? My top conferences that I would highly recommend people go to, one is the Dream Project. That is, I've been 3 years and it is absolutely phenomenal. And it's not just a conference to make you feel warm and fuzzy on the inside, because we can get enough of that. You know, it's a conference that actually give you tangible things. Like every time I leave the Dream Project, I leave with something that I never knew before and that I can go to apply to my business right away. Another great conference is Blogalicious. I thought that conference is.
I've heard a lot about Blogalicious, and
It is.
yeah,
It is.
a lot of people like that one.
Yeah, it is absolutely amazing. And the name might throw you off a little bit because it's Blogalicious and you think it's just for bloggers, but brands can actually, because these bloggers are making money and you can see how they're making money, how they're applying certain things to their businesses, and you can apply it to your business too. So Blogalicious was absolutely a great conference. Anything with Lamar and Ronnie Tyler is gold. Anything dealing with them, if their name is on anything, it is gold. And I met them at the Dream Project. Yep, I met them at the Dream Project. And the very first one in Atlanta. And I was like, you know what? And they have been like my mentors ever since. And I'm attending their traffic sales and profits and sales.
Right.
Yeah. I'm attending that this week. So I highly recommend that. Getting, webinars are great. Just be mindful of people that are trying to sell you on it. And I just want people to really look at the people who are selling them, because you want to learn from entrepreneurs who are making a living off of something and not you. You know what I'm saying?
Completely understand.
So you don't want to be the reason why they're making all of this money. You want to see how they're making it so then they can show you. But I don't think they can show you if they're making the money off of you. So just be mindful of that. But there's some good courses out there. And I think it's very important for entrepreneurs to invest in themselves and to be around other entrepreneurs, to be in a room with other entrepreneurs. It's just a different type of feeling that you have. It's a different feeling. You all have probably like the same work schedule. You all have the same gripes. You have somebody that you can actually talk to, and they know what you're talking about. And I think it's very good to go to conferences and participate in that so you can be around like-minded people, and it can elevate you to another level.
I agree 100%, which is why I love the Dream Project so much, because it's just a room of like-minded people.
Yeah, and it's beautiful.
I think every time I don't know, it creates something in me, and I'm like, oh yeah, I need to go home and do this, and this.
Yeah. And then you actually do it. Like after seeing Magic Johnson, like that, and then the stuff that he gave us, like the information that he gave us, and how transparent he was, and you can feel the authenticity. You can feel how authentic he is and how he really does want you to survive and make it and be as successful as possible. That was in his voice. That was in his eyes. And I was just so honored to even have that opportunity to see Magic Johnson speak. That was awesome.
Well, we are Spartans, and he is a lovely Spartan alum, and we were way too excited to see him speak.
Yes.
But he really put in a lot. He gave us a lot of nuggets, and I really got a better understanding of what kind of businessman he is, and a newfound respect.
Me too. I mean, absolutely.
Do you have a mentor in your product field, or you just have business mentors?
I have business mentors. Lisa Price is my product mentor. She knows. I tell her all the time that she's my mentor, and she is very she's very honest. She's a very honest person. She tells me about her experiences, and without telling me what not to do or what to do, she just tells me her experience, and I just take it like that. But she is like my product mentor in this business. I love her. I love how transparent she is. I love how honest she is. And I love the fact that she's still a wife, she's still a mom, and she's an awesome, businesswoman.
Yes, she is.
She's just awesome.
That's cool. Do you mentor anybody else that's coming along?
I do. I really do. And that's what I use Periscope for, because I didn't have, a connection with Lisa Price or even Jasmine or any of the Courtney from Main Choice, all of these ladies that I have a connection with now, and I can actually call them. Even Gwen, Naturalicious, I can call her. We can have a conversation. Like, that didn't exist for me when I first got started. So I use Periscope as a platform to mentor people that are coming up in business, because I want people to know, like, especially women, like, it does not matter if you're selling a hair product or if you're selling a service. Like, a widget is still a widget, and the way you present that widget and the way you deliver that widget is very important. So I do mentor. I do one-on-one with ladies. And it's been very good. It's been very good to share my knowledge and my expertise, as I can say that I'm an expert in the field, with people. It feels very good that I can do that and give that reach back, because I didn't have anybody to reach up to, because I felt like they weren't tangible. I couldn't grasp them. I couldn't talk to them. But now I can. So since I can, I want to be able to reach back to other people too.
So you must tell everyone about Black BizScope. You have to.
Yes, Black BizScope, the hottest thing on Periscope. So Black BizScope is a community-based initiative, and it's almost a year old. July 9th will be that 1 year mark that I was in my lawn chair, waiting for my husband to get back with the rental car, when it all came out on Periscope. So it's a community-based initiative where we feature Black-owned businesses on every Friday, and they come on from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and from 6 to 8 Eastern Standard Time. And they come on for 15 minutes and describe their business or their service. And during that time, we bring all of our people, all of our audience, we bring everybody to them. And we have people come and follow them and support them by actually showing up, by giving hearts, or by actually purchasing from them, supporting them by purchasing. And it's been absolutely amazing. We've featured over 450 businesses. We've been in Atlanta Black Star, Madame Noir, Huffington Post, and Black Enterprise Magazine online. So it's been a phenomenal year for Black BizScope. It's been absolutely phenomenal. And I started with Christia, she's on my mind, Christine St. Ville of Moms in Charge, and Adia Rogers, the Trendy Socialites.
Yes. So you guys, tomorrow's Friday, so if you're on Periscope, please check out Black BizScope in the morning and in the evening.
Yes.
How has your family reacted to your success?
That is interesting. And it used to hurt my feelings, because I get no reaction. Maybe I'm not getting a reaction I'm expecting. But as far as my immediate family, like my husband and my kids, like, they think I'm awesome. Like, they love it. My oldest son, he has the Upscale magazine. He shows it to everybody when they go to see him at work. He's a junior at Bowie State in Maryland, and he works at Foot Locker. So he is super duper proud of his mommy. But it's like, my family back at home, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like, I don't get anything.
I completely understand.
I don't get anything. Like, one of my cousins, they were calling me Miss Centric for a minute. Oh, you Miss Centric. And in the way they say it, like, are you saying it like, oh, you pretty for a dark girl? Like, I don't know how to take that. Like, are you being condescending, or are you giving me a compliment? Like, I don't know. Are you punching me in my face and giving me a hug at the same time? I don't know what's going on, but I used to be real disappointed because I wouldn't get the reaction and the love from my family that I do from total strangers. Like, I get more love from people that I met on Periscope in the past year than I do for people who we got the same blood running through our veins. We have the same great grandfather. You know what I'm saying? So I had to say to myself, meet people where they are. Because when you're not happy with yourself on the inside, it's really hard for you to be happy for somebody else. So I think if I come home in a Bentley or something, or, come home like Scrooge McDuck, with wads of cash or something, maybe I will get a reaction. But when I go home, it's just like, hey.
I completely understand. Okay, so the entrepreneur in me doesn't know what day it is. My executive producer is helping me. God bless her. So tomorrow's not Friday, you guys. It's actually Wednesday, and you agreed. So look, you just as crazy as I am.
Let me tell you, I'm thinking it's Saturday. I don't know what today is. I don't know what today is.
When you don't have a set, like when you don't have to report to anyone, it is hilarious how you don't know what day it is or what. Right. Look, what date.
And school is out. Please, I don't even know. What is today? Exactly. I don't even know.
I completely understand. Yes. I completely get it. So how did you get past your family? Like, how did you get past that? You just
Periscope.
Oh, I understand.
Periscope, because when I get on Periscope and I talk, and 9 times out of 10, like I always tell people on Periscope, when I'm talking about certain issues, I'm talking to try to talk myself through it, right? Because I wasn't seeing like the majority of my friends on Facebook. I think I got like 2,000 friends. Like the majority are my cousins. Like they are my blood relatives. You know what I'm saying? Like third cousins, like third, second, like we are close kin, as we say. And the amount of people that shared my stuff, that even will share my sales, that will share anything that I got going on, it would not be my family. So I had to stop setting myself up for disappointment. I really had to stop. I'm like, you know what? Because I put out something a couple years ago. I put out something like I would be really rich if all of my first cousins would just buy from me. Like if all of my first cousins, because my grandmother had 11 kids. So if all of my first cousins would buy from me, I would be rich on my daddy's side. And my mama's side, if all of y'all, and they are all on Facebook. So I like blasted them out. Then my mama called me up and she was like, so why did you do that? And I was like, because like nobody supports me and blah, blah, blah. And she said, so? She said, you cannot make anybody do anything. I was like, She said, and if they do support you, then they probably gonna think you owe them something. She said, so don't force anybody to support you. Just appreciate the people that do support you. So that's what I do. I show love and appreciation to the people who do show me love and support. And when I say thank you, I love them for real. Like, thank you for showing me the love and support that you're showing me, because to not get it from your family is like kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. But I see that a lot of entrepreneurs experience the same thing. Like I am not the only one. I am not the only one, so hey, there's no, like my mama said, there's no skin off my nose. I just roll with it. And I appreciate the people who show me love and support.
Yeah, I totally agree. Look, I'm in shock if you do. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
you saw that? You what?
Right.
Look, I'm floored. I'm like, I know they're like, oh, why is she so shocked?
Right.
But I completely understand 100%. My mother and father are watching right now because they watch every episode. Oh. And my sissy, of course, is, like I said, the executive producer of the year. So,
yep.
And we have some other family that are amazing, but then you have those that it's just like,
yeah.
Like you were on Centric and I was in Essence, and
Right.
it just was like everybody's in Essence because no one said anything. So I'm like,
Right.
okay.
You know, and my daddy, he is so amazing. I love him. I love my daddy because he doesn't have a smartphone. So he has a flip phone. So I sent him the link to the trailer, you know, to the thing
Right.
on Centric. And he called everybody. He was like, come here, come to my house, come to my house, come to my house. And he had my sister pull it up on her phone so everybody could watch.
That's so cute.
I love him. I love him. My daddy he is awesome. And on my mama's side, like my parents are very, very supportive. But I was just thinking, I thought that I would get so much more support from my family, you know,
Right.
from my family. My husband's family showed me way more love and support. You know, I just met them 10 years ago.
Right.
I've been knowing these people my whole life.
Exactly. Exactly. But your dad sounds like mine. My dad took the tape of me on Oprah to the office.
Yes. Oh, my daddy would do that.
PR and yeah.
My daddy will call me from, hey, Pam, I'm here with this lady with some natural hair, and she needs your products. Hold on. And I'm like, Daddy.
I love
like,
it.
Oh, hey, hello? Yes. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'll be home in 2 weeks. Yes, ma'am. I will bring, yes, ma'am. Like, he will put me on the spot. Like, are you serious? Bring some of that stuff when you come home, because I got people coming to the house.
I love it.
Like, really?
That is awesome.
Yeah, my daddy is awesome.
That's awesome. What did your parents say when you quit that good job, as Tanisha Jackson Warner says?
Oh, yeah, I call it good government. When I didn't tell my dad for 6 months.
You keep secrets from your parents real well, don't you? I see that.
My daddy, he is retired from the government. You know, he is retired. So I couldn't, you know, tell him. But when I did, I thought I would get, it's so amazing. The reaction I thought I would get, like when I had to tell my parents I was having a baby, I thought they would like chop my head off. Like I thought my head would literally leave my body and then I would die. I thought I was going to die that day. But that wasn't it. They showed me so much love and it's going to be all right. And when I told my dad, he said, oh, okay. He said, that's good. Let me know. Let me know. I was like, okay, let you know what? You know, if you need something. I was like, okay, Daddy. So he has been my number one supporter. He has been like, it's my husband and my daddy. That's how it is. That is how it is. Yes.
I love it. Do you have some, well, first of all, does anyone have questions? If you have questions, you need to type them into YouTube, tweet them to @Ask Dr. Renee, or if you're on Google Plus, click the little white boxes in the upper right-hand corner and it'll say Q&A and you can type them in there. But do you have tips for, say, so when you started the business, you were married, right?
No.
No, okay.
We were boyfriend and girlfriend.
Okay, okay. Mm-hmm. So do you have tips for a single mother starting a business? You know, like Gwen was a single mother, started her company, you know. So do you have tips for them?
Yes, a plan. Have a plan. Like have a plan and write it down. You don't have to have no fancy business plan and have all objectives and all of this stuff written out. But you have to have a plan. You have to have a plan to know, like, what are you going to be selling? You have to know how much money you want to make. That was my biggest, if I could do anything over again, I would write down how much money I wanted to make. I didn't start doing that till about 3 years ago. Like how much money I need to make per day, for the week, for the month. I didn't have that written out, you know? So having that plan, if you already have a job, put some money to the side. Save. I save a chunk of money, not a lot, but you know, when you're not working and your mortgage is $2,400 in DC and you got 2 kids, you're like, oh, that money goes quick. So have some money saved, just for your rainy day, or if you need something, have that money saved. Another thing, separate everything. Okay? Separate but equal. Leave your personal finances to your personal finances. Leave your business to your business. Make sure everything is separate. That is very, very important. I got into some, not trouble, but when you commingle and intermingle things, it just messes everything up, right? So you'll know how much money your business is actually making. And that's the only way you're going to know that is if you keep things separately. And you can actually pay yourself a small salary. Even if you don't think you can actually pay yourself. You can pay yourself $200 every 2 weeks, put $200 every 2 weeks, and just put that into another account. But keep everything separate. So have a plan, have it written out how much money you want to make, like something tangible that you want to make. And when you write down how much money you want to make, that equals how much product you have to sell. And then that equals how much marketing you have to do. And then that, so it all trickles down. So when you have that, okay, don't be afraid to invest in yourself, please. Everything for free is not always good. Please. Everything for free is not always good. Make sure you own your own domain name. That's very important. And build your email list. Do not depend on social media because it could be taken away in a blink of an eye. So own your stuff. Own your domain name. You need to own your email list. And that's how you market to the people. And did I say invest in yourself? Invest in yourself. Please invest in yourself. Don't be afraid to go to conferences. Don't be afraid to buy software that will help you improve your business. Don't be afraid. Like, it's so funny, like how entrepreneurs take that risk, because an entrepreneur is a risk taker. And then once they take that risk, they're afraid to take another risk. Like, what you scared for? Like, you already took the risk. Like, keep taking it. Like, keep jumping, keep leaping, and that's the biggest thing that I want you all to do. Keep taking risks. Don't be afraid to invest in yourself.
Now, do you have a staff?
I do not. I have people that will come and help me during the very busy times.
Gotcha.
We have, once we start going into stores, we have a filling company and a fulfillment company that will be put into place. And then that will alleviate a lot of stuff that I have to do. So, but I do have somebody that helps me and my husband, and then we bring people in once it's time for big orders or big stuff to go out.
Awesome. What's the next level or the next big thing for Koils by Nature?
The next big thing for Koils by Nature is going into stores. And I will be able to announce soon which stores I will be going into. So that's going to be the next big thing. And then I'm going to focus on veterans. Because I'm a veteran, I'm going to focus on veterans. I'm actually going to start something. I don't know if I should say that. But it's going to be geared towards veterans, okay? And just women veterans. And I'm excited about this project that we're about to launch with Koils by Nature, because I am a proud veteran, but I know how hard it is to be a woman in the armed forces. So, yeah. So going into stores and veterans.
Awesome. So we do this really quick answer thing like my Auntie O. So first of all, Koils by Nature is, first thing comes to mind.
An amazing all-natural hair care company.
I believe in
myself.
Branding is
a feeling.
My job is
to be the best that I can be.
Life is
beautiful.
And success is
what you make it.
Amen to that. Well, please tell everyone where they can find you so they can keep up with you, and they can order Koils by Nature, and they can find out what store it'll be in soon.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Renee. I really appreciate you so much. You can find me at www.koilsbynature.com, and that's Koils with a K. And we are everywhere. We're on Instagram. We are on Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, Koils by Nature, and that's Koils with a K.
Awesome sauce. thank you so much for giving us your time this evening.
Thank you.
This was another episode of Trep Tuesday with another wonderful, fabulous entrepreneur. I have no idea what's going to happen next week because that's the way things go with scheduling and stuff. And so,
I love it.
Everyone stay tuned. I am Ask Dr. Renee on all social media platforms. And my big news this week was that I got my blue check on Facebook.
Yes,
so
honey,
for those that have no idea, like one of my friends who I would never out, but I texted them and told them, and they said, okay, I'm sorry, but what does this mean? So this means that Facebook has recognized me as a public figure. Yes. And that's pretty awesome. And I'm really excited. The traffic has increased so much on my page. It's crazy. And so I think it's because of that. So I'm really excited. But please like my Facebook page, subscribe to the channel. There will be a little button right here that says subscribe here. Subscribe to the channel. And if you have an Android phone, download the app, Ask Dr. Renee. That'll be another way for you to keep up with what's going on. And we always send out an announcement to let you know who's going to be on the show that night. So I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Everyone have a great week. Thank you again, Pam. And I will see you soon.
Thank you.
Night.
Bye.